We got a lot of bright lights.
Is it a nice change that we're not putting all the microphones on your jacket for once?
Yeah, I feel like the old days. You would see important people talking behind microphones, and I guess that worked for them, and it can work for us.
Very good. Everybody, give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready. Thumbs up, good, good, all around. Everybody good? Okay, Mike, let's start here, and let's talk about what everybody in Cincinnati is talking about, and that's your quarterback. His contract has been a big talker here in Cincinnati for a while. How much urgency is there, Mike, for you to get that done as soon as possible?
I am going to disappoint you with my answer. I don't have anything to say on this negotiation. We've agreed with the other side that we wouldn't do it publicly. We'd do it privately. We think that gives us the best chance to bring it to a conclusion. And you can ask questions on it, and I'm just going to have to fall back on that if you do. I would like to sit here and probably say things, but it's just best not to.
Understood. If I may ask a follow-up on that, how important is it to the organization to keep Joe long-term, get it done, so there's peace of mind knowing he's the quarterback here for a long time?
Well, Joe's the heart of the team, and everybody in Cincinnati knows that. I'm not the only one. He is a necessary piece to our puzzle, and we understand that. I wish I could go further and say things, but that's just about as far as I choose to go right now.
He's not the only player who obviously this organization would like to keep for a long time. T. Higgins is another player who's up for a contract. Jamar Chase will be next year. This is not asking about Joe, but I understand Joe has to probably be the first domino, you would think, before you can negotiate those guys, or can you do them simultaneously, or do you have to get Joe done first before you can approach those?
Well, this is a hard one for me because if I say too much, I feel I'm getting into the negotiation with Joe. We have good players that need to be signed and extended. All this is part of a puzzle, if you will. And you have to fit them in one by one. I don't know where it's going to end up because we have only so much in the cap to expend before it's all gone. And whether we can get all our guys back or have to pick and choose will depend some on what they're asking. We have them all here this year, so that's the good thing. What the future will bring, we'll have to wait and see.
One player you were able to restructure a contract with was Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is back for another year. How much of a priority was that for the organization to work with him to make that deal happen to keep him?
Joe's a good player. He has our respect. We're glad to have him. He's an integral part of the team. The thing with Joe was to get his deal at a market price that would help us with the overall. And he consented to do that. We're appreciative that he did. It should help us address some other player contract issues.
When you look at the team currently, coaching staff, there's a lot of continuity on the coaching staff. The roster, there's a lot of continuity with your best players being back again. How good do you feel about this team being able to make another run like you had the last two seasons? And maybe this time be the one to finally get over the hump.
Well, you talk just like I plan to talk to them. We've been a good team. We've done well the last couple years. We went to a Super Bowl. We've been in 2 conference championship games, won one. We've won back-to-back divisional titles, something we've never done before. So that says a lot, but it talks about what happened, not what will happen. And I don't like to be one of those guys who stands up and says we're going to run off with everything. We have to prove it. We have to go out and earn it. And it's never a sure thing. It's always difficult. The other teams, whatever they say, they're thinking the same that we're thinking. They're thinking they're the one. You look at our division, those are good teams. Baltimore, they're a really good team. And Cleveland has been staffed and brought in a lot of new guys. They'll be better. And Pittsburgh has a plan to grow within, and it's taking hold. I don't discount any of them. They'll be tough for us, and so will a lot of others. But we have the chance, and I think our guys are grateful for the chance. I think they want to see just what they can get done.
I don't want to comment here this guy.
Mike, if I may, how surprised are you with the devaluation of the running back position?
Well, that's been going on for some time. It's an interesting problem. I've seen it happen at other positions, and I've seen it go the other way, where other positions suddenly got more highly valued than they had been. Right now, the one that's in play is the running back position, where the pay has gone down, and the theory seems to be that, well, if you can't do it, we'll have another guy step in there, and we've got him on the squad now, or we can get him. And it's become a passing game in this league. That's what matters most. You have to throw the ball successfully to be a top team. The days of the running back, the Jim Brown days, when that may have mattered most, just isn't modern NFL football.
So with the devaluing of the running back position, has it become harder than ever? When you have a core of a star quarterback, 2 star receivers, has it become harder than ever to keep all of them at the prices they want, the numbers they want, that are friendly for both them and the organization?
Well, that's the issue, isn't it? Think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy. And it just is obvious that when all teams are essentially paying the same thing, we're all paying up to the cap, no more, just that amount. And, pardon me, it is hard to fit everybody in. It's impossible to fit everybody in at the rate they wish they could be paid. So you lose some guys every year. There's attrition. You try to work around it, and we have done that for a few years now. But it's free agency in the draft, re-signing guys, trying to fit all of that into the pie, piece for everybody. But it's just almost impossible to get everybody to think they got the piece they wanted.
Would it be fair to say, Mike, that making sure Joe, Jamar, and T get a slice of pie is the priority on your end?
Well, it's pretty obvious that Joe is the heart of the matter. And after that, we want all the guys we can get, but we may have to go short in a couple cases.
Just following up on that, obviously.
I'm sorry, miss.
Just following up on that, obviously you've had a lot of challenging off seasons with a lot of good players that have come through this franchise. But when you look at just the magnitude of this quarterback negotiation and the receiver market going up to what it is, has this been one of the more challenging off seasons for you guys as a front office to try and assemble this big puzzle piece?
This is embarrassing to me, but help me.
Challenging off-season with the way that the quarterback market is and the wide receiver market is, and knowing that we've got some quality players and how it's going up.
You just hit the daily worry for me. I want to get them all back. I respect all of them. And then we're stuck with the probability that that's going to be difficult, so we have to prioritize. We have to put them in order. And that will disappoint some of them. It'll disappoint some of our public. But that's the quandary we have.
If I may, one quick question about the stadium lease. It's obviously up in 2026. Katie talked in the spring about trying to negotiate and getting something done for a long term. Is there anything new with negotiations between the team and
I apologize today because you hit a couple hot spots, and that's where the action is, but it's underneath the surface, and it's going to stay there. We're going to talk and negotiate on a private basis as far as and as long as we can, because we think that works best. But these things are all difficult problems for us. And we have been here for, 55 years? Believe me, this is our town. I've lived my life here. And I want to keep us here and get the lease extended in a way that makes it work for the team so that we can go forward and have a chance to do the things that we need to do to win.
Mike, when you take your walks around the stadium over the years, and now you take it and you look at the enhancements here, what comes into your mind when you see all the changes that have happened at this stadium and the improvements?
Well, I have two granddaughters, and honest to God, they came on here, and I didn't know for sure how it was going to go, but suddenly they got ideas of what could be done, and the Wall of Fame, or whatever we call it, the whole training room has been rebuilt. The public will never know that unless they're listening to this. But there are lots of things. It isn't just the stadium. It's we've reached out to our fans in a successful way. And honestly, it just isn't the Bengals. This right now is a time for Cincinnati sports to shine. The baseball team, the Reds, are doing great. The soccer team is almost undefeated. The UC group is going into the Big 12, and Xavier has an outstanding basketball program. That's why we want to get the stadium going and stay with the spirit of what you see going on in town. It's fun, and we're going to try our best to do little things that make it as good as we can.
One or two more questions? Anybody? All right, Mike, we'll move you to the next station.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, Mike.
appreciate it?
I apologize, Miss.